Admiral Kim Dae-ho stood in the center of the Great Hall. The place was huge, bigger than any building he had ever seen on Earth. Strange lights floated in the air above him. All around him sat creatures that looked nothing like humans. Some had many arms. Others had no arms at all. Some looked like rocks that could move. Others seemed to be made of gas that glowed in the dark. All of them were staring at him. The vote had been going on for hours. Each alien species spoke in their own way. Some made sounds like music. Others flashed lights of different colors. A few just stood still, and somehow everyone knew what they meant. But no matter how they talked, they all said the same thing. Humans must become slaves. Dae-ho had come here 3 months ago. Earth had sent him to speak for all humans. He thought he would talk about trade, maybe about sharing technology. He never thought he would be standing here listening to every alien race in the galaxy decide that his people should be property. The tall blue creature that led the meetings stood up. Its voice came from a machine that turned alien sounds into words humans could understand. "The vote is complete," it said. "All species agree. Resolution 2847 passes. The human race will serve the galaxy as workers." Dae-ho felt cold inside. He wanted to shout. He wanted to fight. But he was one man surrounded by thousands of aliens. His ship was small compared to the massive station he stood on. If he tried to fight, he would die, and Earth would never know what happened here. The blue alien kept talking. Humans reproduce too fast. They spread to new worlds without asking permission. They ask too many questions. They do not respect authority. This makes them dangerous to galactic peace. Other aliens made sounds of agreement. The rock-like creatures clicked together. The gas beings flashed bright colors. Everyone seemed happy with the decision except Dae-ho. "But humans are also strong," the blue alien continued. "They can work in places other species cannot. They can survive in hot places and cold places. They heal quickly when hurt. This makes them perfect workers." Dae-ho finally spoke. His voice sounded small in the huge hall. "Earth will never agree to this." The blue alien turned its 3 eyes toward him. "Earth does not have a choice. Your species has no allies here. Every race has voted. The decision is final." Another creature stood up. This one looked like a giant insect with wings that sparkled. "Humans will work in the deep mines of Kepler 442b. The heat there kills most species, but humans can survive it." A floating creature that seemed to be made of metal spoke next. "They will also work in the cold factories of Proxima Centauri, building ships and weapons for civilized species." The blue alien looked at Dae-ho again. "You have 1 Earth week to tell your people. All human ships must report to processing stations. All humans must submit to health checks and work assignments. Any resistance will be met with force." Dae-ho's hands were shaking, but he kept his voice steady. "What if we refuse?" The hall went quiet. Even the constant humming sounds stopped. Every alien eye, sensor, and whatever else they used to see was focused on the human. The blue alien made a sound that the machine did not translate. Then it spoke again. "Your species controls 57 worlds. We control 57,000. Your largest fleet has 300 ships. We have fleets with more ships than your world has people. Refuse, and we will take what we want from the ashes of your civilization." Commander Park Min-ho was on the Earthship Incheon when the message came. He was checking reports from the outer colonies when the communication from Admiral Dae-ho arrived. As he read the words, his face went white. Park Min-ho had served in Earth's Navy for 20 years. He had fought pirates. He had explored new worlds. He had seen humanity at its best and worst, but he had never seen anything like this. The message was short and clear. Every alien species in the galaxy had voted to make humans slaves. Earth had 1 week to surrender or face total war. Park Min-ho called his senior officers to the bridge. Captain Lee So-young arrived first. She commanded the reconnaissance ships that scouted new systems. Behind her came Dr. Cho Jun-ki, the scientist who studied alien life forms. "This has to be a mistake," Lee So-young said after reading the message. "The aliens seemed friendly when we first met them." Dr. Cho Jun-ki shook his head. "I warned Command about this 2 years ago. I studied every species we made contact with. They all fear us. Fear us? Park Min-ho asked. Why would they fear humans? Because we are different, Cho Jun-ki explained. Most alien species are old. They have not changed in thousands of years. They do the same things their ancestors did. They follow rules and never question them. He pulled up a hologram showing different alien species. Look at the Vextar. They have lived the same way for 10,000 years. The Nolrim have not invented anything new in 5,000 years. To them, change is scary. But humans change. All the time, Lee So-young said. Exactly, Cho Jun-ki nodded. In just 200 years, we went from flying in primitive aircraft to traveling between stars. We ask questions about everything. We change our governments, our societies, our technology. This terrifies them. Park Min-ho stared at the star, charts on his screen. So they want to stop us from changing by making us slaves. They think if they control us, they can control our dangerous ideas, Cho Jun-ki said. They see us as children who need to be managed by wiser adults. The communication system beeped. Another message was coming in, this time from Earth itself. Park Min-ho opened it and saw the face of President Yoon Jae-min. All Earth forces, the president said. You have received Admiral Daeho's report by now. I want you to know that Earth's government has already made our decision. We will not submit. We will not become slaves. Prepare for war. Lee So-young looked around the bridge. War? Against the entire galaxy? That's impossible. But Park Min-ho was smiling. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a hunter who had just spotted prey. Maybe, he said, but they made one big mistake. What mistake? Dr. Cho Jun-ki asked. They think they know everything about humans, Park Min-ho replied. They studied our history. They saw how some humans enslaved other humans. They think we will just give up when faced with superior force. He turned to look at the stars through the bridge windows. But they only studied our past. They have no idea what we have been building for the future. Deep in the ship's computer, coded messages were already being sent to every human vessel in space. The messages contained just 2 words, but every human in the fleet knew what they meant. Protocol. Omega, the aliens wanted a war. They thought they were getting easy slaves. They were about to learn how wrong they could be. On Earth, General Lee Hyun-soo sat in a room buried deep underground. The room did not officially exist. Neither did the base it was part of. Neither did the weapons stored in the levels below. For 30 years, ever since humans first made contact with aliens, a small group of military leaders had asked one simple question. What if the aliens turned out to be hostile? The politicians had called them paranoid. The scientists had called them pessimistic. But they had kept working anyway, building defenses that the galaxy had never seen. Now their paranoia was about to save humanity. Lee Hyun-soo opened the Protocol Omega files. Hidden bases on 40 worlds came online. Secret shipyards began launching. Vessels that had never appeared on any official record. Weapons that violated several laws of physics powered up for the first time. The galaxy thought humans were primitive warriors with simple weapons. They were about to discover just how wrong they were. Admiral Daeho's final message reached Earth 12 hours later. He had managed to steal detailed information about alien fleet movements before being captured. His sacrifice would give humanity the intelligence it needed. As the aliens celebrated their easy victory, humanity prepared to teach them a lesson they would never forget. The war for human freedom was about to begin. President Yoon Jae-min stood behind the podium in the Oval Office. The room was full of reporters, military leaders, and diplomats. But she was not talking to them. She was talking to the entire galaxy. Every major alien world was watching. They expected to see a defeated human leader begging for mercy. Instead, they saw a woman with steel in her voice and fire in her eyes. To the Galactic Council and all species who voted for our enslavement, she began, Earth's answer is simple, no. The camera zoomed in on her face. She looked calm, but there was something in her expression that made the words more frightening than any scream. We will not submit. We will not kneel. We will not serve. You have made a grave mistake, and now you will pay for it. On the alien station where Admiral Kim Dae-ho was held prisoner, Guards watched the broadcast with confusion. How could this tiny species dare to refuse? Did they not understand the size of the forces arrayed against them? Deho smiled as he watched his president speak. The aliens had made the mistake of letting him keep his communication device, thinking it was just a simple radio. They did not know it was also transmitting everything he saw and heard back to Earth. The guard that looked like a giant lizard turned to him. "Your leader is foolish. She will bring destruction to your species." "Yes," Deho said quietly. "She will, but not to us." The lizard alien did not understand what he meant. It would soon learn. On Earth, Colonel Shin Woo-jin was already moving. As the president spoke, hidden bases across the planet came alive. Mountains that looked normal from the outside opened to reveal massive weapon systems. Lakes drained to show landing pads for ships that officially did not exist. Shin Woo-jin had spent 15 years building Earth's secret defenses. Every human colony had similar hidden installations. The aliens had been watching humanity for decades, but they had only seen what humans wanted them to see. "Phase 1 is complete," he reported to General Lee Hyun-soo. "All ghost installations are online." Lee Hyun-soo nodded from his underground command center. "Begin Phase 2. Activate the shadow fleets." Across human space, ships that had never appeared on any registry began to move. They looked nothing like the vessels the aliens had cataloged. These ships were built with technology that should not exist, powered by energy sources that broke every known law of physics. Captain Park Jin-woo commanded one of these ships. The vessel had no name, only a number: Ghost 7. It was one of 50 similar ships hidden in the asteroid belt around Earth's sun. "All systems green," his navigator reported. "Quantum drive ready for activation." Park Jin-woo looked at his crew. Every person on the bridge was a volunteer. They all knew they might not survive what was coming, but they also knew that humanity's freedom depended on what they did next. "Take us to the first target," he ordered. The ship vanished from normal space. The aliens had technology that could bend space and time, but they had never seen anything like what humanity had built. Ghost 7 reappeared 3 star systems away in less than a second. On Earth, Dr. Han Yu-jin was putting the finishing touches on her greatest creation. The aliens had dismissed human science as primitive. They thought humans were still using nuclear weapons and chemical rockets. They had no idea what Dr. Han Yu-jin had been building in her secret laboratory. "The quantum disruptor is ready," she reported to General Lee Hyun-soo. "We can target any ship, any station, any planet from here." "How does it work?" the general asked. "Think of it as a weapon that attacks reality itself," Dr. Han Yu-jin explained. "Every atom in the universe is held together by forces the aliens understand. This weapon makes those forces stop working." Lee Hyun-soo looked at the device. It was smaller than he expected, about the size of a briefcase. "And this can destroy entire fleets?" "Fleets, planets, star systems," Dr. Han Yu-jin nodded. "The aliens wanted to see what humans could do when pushed to the edge. They are about to find out." Meanwhile, Captain Park Jin-woo's ship had reached its destination. The alien observation post was exactly where Admiral Deho's intelligence said it would be. 12 ships from 3 different species were monitoring human activity in the system. "They do not see us," his weapons officer reported. "Their sensors cannot detect our ship." "Good," Park Jin-woo said. "Let them keep watching. They will have a very interesting story to tell." He opened a communication channel to all the alien ships. Their surprised faces appeared on his screen. Some looked like insects. Others resembled fish with arms. All of them looked confused. "This is Captain Park Jin-woo of the Earth Defense Force," he said in a friendly voice. "You are trespassing in human space. Please leave." The insect-like alien who seemed to be in charge clicked its mandibles together. "Human ship, you are ordered to surrender immediately. Your species has been classified as property of the Galactic Council." "I see," Park Jin-woo nodded. "You must not have received the updated message from Earth. Let me show you our response to your council's decision." He gave a small signal to his weapons officer. The woman pressed a single button. All 12 alien ships simply stopped existing. They did not explode. They did not burn. They were there one moment and gone the next, as if they had never been built at all. The effect was so clean, so complete, that it took several seconds for the alien monitoring stations to realize what had happened. When they did, panic spread across their communication networks. "Impossible," the insect alien's last transmission had said. "No weapon can do that," but the evidence was right in front of them. 12 ships had been reduced to empty space with no debris, no energy signature, no trace that they had ever existed. Park Jin-woo's ship vanished again, heading for the next target. On Earth, President Yoon Jae-min was still speaking, but now, her words were being broadcast alongside images of the destroyed alien ships. "You thought you knew humanity," she said. "You studied our history and saw our wars. You saw how we sometimes enslaved our own people. You decided we were primitive and violent." She paused, letting the images of vanished alien ships fill the screen. "You were right about one thing. We are violent. But you were wrong about everything else. We are not primitive. We have spent decades preparing for this day. And now you will learn what human violence really means." The aliens watching the broadcast were beginning to understand that they had made a terrible mistake. But it was too late to change their minds. Dr. Cho Jun-ki was monitoring alien communications from his station on the Incheon. The messages flying between alien worlds were full of fear and confusion. "They are trying to figure out how we destroyed their ships," he reported to Commander Park. "Minho, some think we have secret allies. Others believe we found ancient technology." "What do you think?" Park Minho asked. "I think they are about to discover that they never really understood humans at all," Cho Jun-ki replied. "They saw what we wanted them to see. Now they will see what we really are." More reports were coming in from across human space. Ghost ships were appearing near alien installations, delivering the same message Park Jin-woo had given. Leave human space or be destroyed. Most aliens chose to leave. A few decided to test humanity's new weapons. They quickly learned that human threats were not empty ones. Captain Lee So-young was leading the evacuation of human civilians from the outer colonies. Her ships were moving people to underground cities that had been built in secret over the past 30 years. "How long have we been preparing for this?" one of the refugees asked her. "Since the day we first met aliens," Lee So-young replied. "Some humans trusted them, others did not. The ones who did not trust worked in secret to protect us all." The evacuation was going smoothly. The aliens had expected to find millions of humans on the colony worlds ready to be processed into slavery. Instead, they found empty cities and automated systems designed to make the colonies look occupied from space. The real humans were deep underground, safe in cities that could survive anything the aliens could throw at them. General Lee Hyun-soo received the first battle reports in his command center. So far, humanity had destroyed 47 alien ships without taking a single casualty. But this was just the beginning. "The aliens are calling for reinforcements," his intelligence officer reported. "Large fleets are moving toward human space." "Good," Lee Hyun-soo said. "The more ships they send, the more ships we can destroy. Let them come." He turned to Dr. Han Yu-jin. "Is the quantum disruptor ready for large-scale operations?" "Ready and waiting," she confirmed. "We can target entire fleets from here." Colonel Shin Woo-jin was coordinating the defensive systems across all human worlds. The aliens thought they were attacking primitive planets defended by simple weapons. They were about to discover that every human world was actually a fortress armed with technology beyond their understanding. "All defensive systems report ready," he announced. "The aliens can come whenever they want. We will be waiting." President Yoon Jae-min's broadcast was ending, but her final words would be remembered forever. "You asked for war," she said, looking directly into the camera. "You will get war. But it will not be the war you expected. You thought you were fighting primitive humans with simple weapons. Instead, you are fighting the species that has spent decades preparing to defend itself against threats like you." No. Smiled. And it was not a pleasant smile. "Welcome to Earth's war. We hope you survive it." The broadcast ended. Across the galaxy, Commander Nam Ki-tai watched the alien fleet approach Europa Station through his command screen. 67 ships flying in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming in the light of Jupiter's distant sun. They looked beautiful and deadly, like metal sharks swimming through space. The aliens had no idea what they were really looking at. To them, Europa Station appeared to be exactly what humans had always claimed it was, a simple ice mining facility on one of Jupiter's moons. The aliens saw mining equipment, storage tanks, and worker housing. Their sensors detected normal human life signs and standard industrial operations. They could not see the truth. Europa Station was not a mining facility. It was a weapon. Enemy fleet will reach firing position in 12 minutes, reported his tactical officer. Namki-Tai nodded calmly. He had been waiting for this moment for 8 years, ever since construction on Europa's hidden systems had begun. Today, the galaxy would learn what happened when you threatened humanity. Send the warning message, he ordered. The communication went out to the Zephyrian Armada, pride of the Galactic Council's enforcement fleet. The message was simple and polite. This is Europa Station. You are entering human space without permission. Please turn around and leave. The response came quickly. Admiral Zekthar's face appeared on the screen. He looked like a cross between a bird and a lizard, with bright yellow eyes and scales that changed color when he was angry. Human mining station, the alien said in a voice full of contempt. You will surrender immediately. All humans on this facility will report for processing. Any resistance will result in your destruction. Namki-Tai smiled. I see. And if we refuse? Look around you, human. Zekthar gestured to his fleet. We have 67 warships. You have a mining station. Surrender now, and you will live as slaves. Resist, and you will die. Thank you for clarifying the situation, Namki-Tai said, politely. Europa Station's answer is no. He cut the communication before the alien could respond. All stations, prepare for combat, Namki-Tai announced to his crew. Bring the quantum resonance cannons online. Deep beneath Europa's ice, massive machines that had been sleeping for years began to wake up. The alien sensors detected nothing unusual. The technology was too advanced for them to understand, hidden behind layers of ice and electromagnetic shielding. The Zephyrian fleet moved closer, confident in their overwhelming superiority. 67 ships against one small station. The outcome seemed obvious. It was obvious, just not in the way the aliens expected. Cannons are online and ready, reported the weapons officer. Namki-Tai looked at the timer counting down on his screen. The alien ships were now in perfect position, spread out in a formation that would allow maximum destruction of the station while minimizing damage to their own forces. They had placed themselves exactly where Namki-Tai wanted them. Fire, he said quietly. The quantum resonance cannons fired in perfect synchronization. The weapons did not shoot energy beams or projectiles. Instead, they targeted the basic forces that held matter together, disrupting the quantum fields that made atoms possible. The effect was instantaneous and total. 67 alien warships simply ceased to exist. They did not explode in fire and debris. They did not break apart into pieces. One moment they were there, and the next moment they were not. As if they had never been built at all. The entire battle lasted exactly 17 minutes from start to finish. Admiral Zekthar had time for one final transmission. His face on the screen showed pure terror as he watched his ships vanish around him. Impossible, he whispered. No weapon can do this. No species has this technology. You are wrong, Namki-Tai replied calmly. Humans have this technology, and we have many more weapons you have never imagined. Then Admiral Zekthar's ship vanished too, leaving only empty space where the proud Zephyrian Armada had been. The few alien scout ships that had been watching from a safe distance immediately fled, broadcasting panicked reports across the galaxy. The impossible had happened. Humanity had destroyed an entire fleet without taking a single hit in return. Admiral Oh Seung-ho received the news aboard his flagship while preparing for the next phase of humanity's response. His fleet was hidden in dark space between star systems, invisible to alien sensors. Europa Station reports complete success, his communication officer announced. All enemy ships destroyed. No human casualties. Excellent, Oh Seung-ho said. Signal the other ghost fleets. Begin Operation Nightfall. Across human space, invisible ships began to move. Using stealth technology that made them undetectable, human fleets approached their targets in complete silence. The aliens had been expecting a defensive war. They thought humans would hide behind their planets and fight desperately to survive. Instead, humanity was bringing the war directly to the aliens. Oh Sung-ho's target was the Vorthan military base in the Centauri system. The base controlled the aliens' supply lines for the entire sector. Destroying it would cripple their ability to wage war against humanity. Target in sight, his navigator reported. Alien defenses are active, but they cannot see us. The Vorthan base was impressive. Massive weapon platforms surrounded it like a metal forest. Energy shields created a glowing dome over the main structures. Patrol ships moved in careful patterns around the perimeter. It looked impregnable. It was not. All ships, begin the attack, Oh Sung-ho ordered. His fleet dropped out of stealth directly inside the alien defense perimeter. The Vorthans had no time to react. One moment their sensors showed empty space, and the next moment 20 human ships were among them, firing weapons that turned matter into energy. The alien base lasted 8 minutes. Similar attacks were happening simultaneously, across 3 different star systems. Military installations, supply depots, and communication relays simply vanished as human ships appeared from nowhere, struck with impossible weapons, and disappeared again. Dr. Kim Ha-neul was monitoring the attacks from her laboratory on Earth. But her attention was focused on a different target. The prison world of Titan VII, where captured humans were being held. The nanites are ready for deployment, she reported to General Lee Hyun-soo. They are programmed to target specific alien genetic markers while leaving humans completely unharmed. How long until the effects become visible? The general asked. For most species, about 6 hours, Dr. Kim Ha-neul replied. The nanites will shut down their nervous systems painlessly but completely. They will simply fall asleep and never wake up. Lee Hyun-soo nodded grimly. Deploy them. Our people have suffered long enough. The nanites were invisible, smaller than viruses, and completely undetectable by alien technology. They spread through the prison world's atmosphere like a gentle breeze, reaching every alien guard, administrator, and overseer on the planet. Captain Hong Soo-min was leading a reconnaissance mission to monitor alien fleet movements when her ship detected something extraordinary. 3 entire species had begun withdrawing their fleets from human space. The hegemony ships are jumping to hyperspace, her sensor officer reported. The collective vessels are following them. The Federation fleet is also retreating. Hong Soo-min studied the tactical display. In less than 24 hours, humanity had destroyed over 200 alien ships without losing a single vessel. The aliens were beginning to understand that this war would not go as they had planned. Send this information to command, she ordered. The enemy is already breaking. But the most devastating blow was yet to come. On Titan VII, the human prisoners watched in amazement as their alien guards began to collapse. The creatures simply lay down where they stood and closed their eyes, as if suddenly overcome by an irresistible need to sleep. Within 6 hours, every alien on the planet was dead. The humans were free. Similar scenes played out on 12 other prison worlds. Alien captors fell asleep forever, while their human prisoners walked out of their cells without opposition. The psychological impact on the galaxy was enormous. If humans could kill every alien on a planet while leaving humans unharmed, what else could they do? Captain Park Jin-woo was returning from his latest mission when he detected alien communications. His ship's computer automatically translated the panicked messages flying between alien worlds. They are calling us monsters, his communication officer reported. Some are saying we have allied with demons. Others think we found weapons left by an ancient civilization. What do you think? Park Jin-woo asked. I think they are finally seeing humans as we really are, the officer replied. Not the primitive species they thought they understood, but something far more dangerous. The reports continued to flow in. The crystalline Vextar had entered emergency hibernation, sealing themselves in their crystal cities and refusing all communication. The gaseous Null Rim had ceased all transmissions and retreated to their home system. Other species were sending desperate messages to the Galactic Council, demanding to know why they had not been told about humanity's true capabilities. On Earth, President Yoon Jae-min received updates on the war's progress. In 36 hours, humanity had achieved more than the aliens thought possible. Entire fleets destroyed, major installations eliminated, prison worlds liberated, and this was just the beginning. The aliens are learning their first lesson, she told her advisors. They thought they understood humanity because they studied our past. They saw our wars and assumed W. General Kwon Byung-ho studied the massive space station on his command screen. Andromeda Central was the largest artificial structure in the galaxy, a metal city floating in space that served as the military headquarters for the entire Galactic Council. The station was protected by energy shields that had never been broken in 3,000 years of galactic warfare. Around it flew the combined fleets of 47 different species, nearly 10,000 ships arranged in defensive formations that military theorists considered perfect. Kwon Byung-ho had spent 6 months studying this target. Every human strategist agreed that Andromeda Central was impossible to destroy using conventional weapons. The aliens had built it to withstand any attack imaginable. Unfortunately for them, humans did not think conventionally. All ghost fleets report ready, his tactical coordinator announced. Quantum storm generators are in position. Admiral Lim Sung-min commanded the human forces from the bridge of the UES Seoul, humanity's newest and most advanced warship. The K ship existed in normal space and several other dimensions at the same time, making it effectively immortal. Target analysis complete, his science officer reported. The alien defensive formation is exactly as predicted. They have positioned their ships to protect against attacks from every possible direction. Every direction in normal space, Lim Sung-min corrected. They are still thinking in 3 dimensions. We are about to teach them about the other 7. The human plan was elegant in its impossibility. Instead of attacking the station directly, they would attack the space-time continuum around it. Using technology that the aliens insisted could not exist, humanity would create a localized storm in the fabric of reality itself. Begin Phase 1, Kwon Byung-ho ordered. Around Andromeda Central, space began to change. The aliens' instruments detected nothing unusual at first. The human ships were still invisible to their sensors, and the quantum storm generators looked like random pieces of space debris. But reality was starting to bend. Commander Zexavorth was the alien officer in charge of the station's defenses. He belonged to a species that looked like walking trees with multiple eyes growing from their branches. His people had been spacefaring for 8,000 years and considered themselves experts in military technology. He was watching his sensor displays when the first anomaly appeared. Sir, his deputy reported, we are detecting gravitational fluctuations in Sector 7. Define fluctuations, Zexavorth ordered. The gravitational field is changing direction. Every few seconds it points somewhere different. Zexavorth's eye branches swiveled to study the readings. In 8,000 years of space travel, his people had never seen anything like this. Gravity always pointed toward massive objects. It did not change direction randomly. Sir, another officer called out, we have similar anomalies in Sectors 3, 11, and 15. More reports flooded in. Throughout the space around Andromeda Central, the basic laws of physics were starting to break down. Time moved faster in some areas and slower in others. Light bent in impossible directions. Several alien ships reported that their instruments were detecting locations that did not exist. What is causing this? Zexavorth demanded. Unknown, sir. Our sensors detect no human ships in the area. That was because human ships were no longer operating in the same dimension as the aliens. They had moved their entire fleet into what Dr. Han Yu-jin called parallel operational space, a place that existed alongside normal reality but followed different rules. Admiral Lim Sung-min watched the alien confusion with satisfaction. Phase 1 complete. Begin Phase 2. The quantum storm generators activated fully. Around Andromeda Central, space-time began to twist into shapes that had no names in any alien language. The station's shields continued to function perfectly, but they were protecting against attacks from the wrong universe. Sir, the alien deputy shouted, Sector 7 is folding! The space is folding in half! Zexavorth looked at his tactical display and saw something that hurt his mind. A section of space that had been normal moments before was now folded like a piece of paper, with ships on both sides of the fold occupying the same location without touching each other. Emergency transmission to all council fleets, he ordered. We are under attack by unknown forces using impossible technology. But the transmission could not get through. The quantum storm was interfering with all forms of communication, trapping the defenders in a bubble of twisted reality. Phase 3, Admiral Lim Sung-min announced. The final generators came online. The space around Andromeda Central stopped following the normal rules of physics entirely. The station and its defensive fleets found themselves trapped in what humans called a pocket dimension, a piece of space that had been cut away from the rest of the universe. From outside, observers would see nothing but empty space. The massive station and 10,000 alien ships had simply vanished from reality. Inside the pocket dimension, the aliens faced a different problem. Their shields protected them from energy weapons and projectile attacks. But the station was now surrounded by space that led nowhere. Their ships could fly in any direction forever without reaching anything except more twisted space. "Sir," the alien deputy whispered, "where are we?" Zexvorth had no answer. In 8,000 years of spacefaring, his species had never encountered anything like this. They were still alive, still breathing, still protected by their shields. But they were no longer in the same universe as the rest of the galaxy. The psychological impact was devastating. Within hours, reports reached every alien homeworld. The galaxy's greatest military installation had simply disappeared. The most powerful defensive fleet ever assembled had vanished without firing a shot. If humans could make entire star systems disappear, what hope did the galaxy have? Dr. Baek Min-jung was analyzing alien communications from her intelligence center on Earth. The messages flying between alien worlds showed complete panic. 17 species have officially withdrawn from the Council Alliance, she reported to General Lee Hyun-soo. 23 more are demanding immediate peace negotiations. What about the others? The general asked, confused and terrified. Many are asking their scientists to explain how humans achieved this level of technology. None of them have answers. The aliens had always believed that technological progress was slow and predictable. A species advanced gradually over thousands of years, following well-known paths of development. The idea that humans had leapfrogged millions of years of normal progress in just a few decades was impossible for them to understand. Colonel Yang Tai-ho was leading the liberation operations on the remaining slave worlds. His teams moved like ghosts, appearing in alien prison camps equipped with technology that seemed almost magical. "Sector 12 is clear," one of his team leaders reported. "All human prisoners evacuated. All alien guards neutralized." "Casualties?" Yang Tai-ho asked. "None on our side. The aliens never saw us coming. The liberation missions were going perfectly. Human strike teams could teleport directly into any location, render alien guards unconscious with weapons that left no trace, and evacuate human prisoners using transportation methods that the aliens could not detect or follow. On every slave world, the pattern was the same. Aliens would wake up to find their human prisoners gone and no evidence of how the rescue had been accomplished. But humanity's most devastating weapon was not technological. It was informational. Specialist Kim De-young commanded the cyber warfare division from a facility that officially did not exist. Her team had spent years infiltrating every major alien communication network, planting hidden programs that could take control of any system when activated. "Operation Truth begins now," she announced to her team. Across the galaxy, alien surveillance systems began broadcasting humanity's message. Every screen, every communication device, every information network displayed the same transmission simultaneously. President Yoon Jae-min's face appeared on billions of alien devices. Her words were translated into every known language, reaching every civilized world in the galaxy at the same time. "People of the galaxy," she began, "you have been lied to by your leaders. They told you that humans were primitive and dangerous. They told you that enslaving us was necessary for galactic peace." Images appeared alongside her words, pictures of human cities, human art, human families, evidence of human achievements in science, medicine, and technology. "The truth is different. Humans are not your enemies. We never wanted to conquer you or harm you. We only wanted to live in peace and explore the stars like you." More images appeared. These showed the vote in the Galactic Council, the decision to enslave humanity, the plans to use humans as forced labor. Your leaders chose war. They chose to make an entire species into slaves. They forced us to defend ourselves. The final images were the most devastating. They showed the results of human retaliation, vanished fleets, liberated prison worlds, and the empty space where Andromeda Central had once stood. This is what happens when you threaten humanity. We do not want to be your enemies, but we will not be your slaves. Choose wisely. The broadcast ended, but its effects rippled across the galaxy. On thousands of worlds, alien populations began to question their government's decisions. Why had they voted to enslave a species that seemed reasonable and peaceful? Why had their leaders not? Judge Moon Jae-sung looked down at the defendants from his elevated bench. The courtroom was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Where the old Galactic Council chamber had been a place of alien arrogance and human humiliation, this new hall was designed to show who held power now. The trial of the Council was humanity's answer to Resolution 2847. Every leader who had voted to enslave humanity now sat in chains before a human judge. They were no longer the proud rulers of galactic civilization. They were prisoners waiting to learn their fate. The charges are simple, Judge Moon announced to the packed courtroom. Crimes against sentient life, conspiracy to commit genocide, violation of natural law. The defendants included representatives from 93 different species. Some looked like insects, others like plants or rocks or things that had no Earth equivalent. All of them had one thing in common. They had voted to make humanity into slaves. Now they would learn what justice meant to the species they had tried to destroy. Admiral Park Se-jin commanded the blockade fleets surrounding the homeworlds of every guilty species. His ships formed perfect spheres around entire star systems, ensuring that nothing could enter or leave without human permission. Status report, he requested from his flagship. All blockades are holding steady, his tactical officer replied. No alien ship has attempted to break through. No communications are getting past our jamming fields. Park Se-jin nodded with satisfaction. Each alien homeworld was completely isolated, cut off from the rest of the galaxy. Their populations could only watch and wait as humanity decided their fate. The blockade was more than just military force. It was a demonstration of human power that the entire galaxy could see. Every species that had voted for human enslavement was now trapped on their own worlds, dependent on human mercy for their survival. Sir, his communication officer called out, we are receiving another surrender request from the hegemony leadership. Standard. Response, Park Se-jin ordered. Surrender your war criminals, or watch your star go dark. The choice had been given to every guilty species. Hand over the leaders who had voted for human enslavement, or face the consequences. Most species had chosen quickly. A few had decided to test humanity's resolve. They had learned their mistake too late. Dr. John Min-sik was the lead scientist on humanity's most terrifying project. Deep in a research station hidden between dimensions, he had developed technology that could manipulate stars themselves. The stellar engineering array is ready, he reported to General Lee Hyun-soo. We can extinguish any star in the galaxy from this location. How does it work? The general asked. We disrupt the nuclear fusion process at the quantum level, Dr. John explained. The star simply stops burning. No explosion, no supernova. It just goes cold and dark. Lee Hyun-soo studied the targeting display. 3 species had refused to surrender their war criminals: the Dominion, the Hegemony, and the Collective. Their leaders believed that humanity was bluffing, that no species would actually destroy entire star systems. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Target the Dominion home system first, Lee Hyun-soo ordered. Let them serve as an example to the others. The weapon fired across impossible distances, targeting the heart of the Dominion star. The effect was visible across the galaxy as monitoring stations detected the sudden disappearance of stellar radiation from the system. Within hours, the Dominion homeworld began to freeze. Without their sun's warmth, the planet's surface temperature dropped below the survival threshold for their species. Billions of Dominion citizens faced slow death in the cold and darkness. The Dominion leadership surrendered within 6 hours. The Hegemony and Collective surrendered before humanity could target their stars. Captain Yu Sung-chul oversaw the dismantling of the Galactic Council. The massive space station that had once been the center of galactic government was being systematically taken apart by human engineering teams. All council records have been downloaded, his data specialist reported. We now have complete files on every species in the galaxy, including their military capabilities, trade relationships, and internal politics. What about the council leadership? Yu Sung-chul asked. All arrested and transported to Earth for trial. The few who tried to escape were intercepted by our ships. The Galactic Council, which had existed for over 5,000 years, ceased to exist in a single day. The elaborate system of alien cooperation and mutual defense had collapsed the moment humanity demonstrated superior force. In its place, humanity was building something new, a galactic government with humans in control. Commander An Hyun-jin was compiling the final reports on the war's progress. The numbers were staggering, even for someone who had lived through the conflict. In 18 months of warfare, she announced to the human command staff, we achieved complete victory without losing a single major engagement. Human casualties, 47 dead, mostly from accidents. Alien casualties, estimated at over 200 million, mostly military personnel. General Lee Hyun-soo reviewed the statistics with grim satisfaction. What about their industrial capacity? Completely destroyed or under our control, An Hyun-jin replied. Every major shipyard, every weapons factory, every research facility is either in human hands or has been eliminated. The war had not just been about defeating alien military forces. It had been about destroying their ability to wage war ever again. Humanity had systematically dismantled every aspect of alien civilization that could pose a threat. And their governments? 47 species have been rendered extinct. 21 have been reduced to pre-spaceflight technology and confined to their homeworlds. The remaining 25 serve humanity in various capacities. The galaxy that had sought to enslave humanity no longer existed. In its place was a collection of broken civilizations serving their new human masters. Back in the courtroom, Judge Moon Jae-sung was reading the verdicts. The trials had lasted 3 months, with overwhelming evidence presented against each defendant. For the crime of voting to enslave humanity, he announced, this court finds all defendants guilty as charged. The alien defendants listened to their sentences through translation devices. Some showed fear, others resignation. A few still seemed unable to understand how their superior civilization had been so completely defeated by a species they had considered primitive. The penalty for attempting to enslave humanity is slavery, Judge Moon continued. Each guilty species will serve humanity for a period of 100 Earth years. During this time, they will mine resources, build ships, and perform whatever labor humanity requires. He looked down at the defeated alien leaders with cold satisfaction. You sought to make us your property. Instead, you have become ours. The sentences varied by species and by the level of their involvement in the enslavement. Plot. The most guilty would serve as manual laborers in human mining operations. Others would work in shipyards or factories. A few would be used for scientific research, helping humanity unlock the secrets of alien biology and technology. Admiral Kim Dae-ho, who had finally been rescued from alien captivity, watched the proceedings with mixed emotions. The aliens who had held him prisoner were now facing the same fate they had planned for humanity. Do you think we are being too harsh? Judge Moon asked him privately after the session. Dae-ho considered the question carefully. They voted to enslave every human in the galaxy. Men, women, children. None of us would have been spared. Our entire species would have become their property. He looked at the alien defendants being led away in chains. We are giving them the same fate they chose for us. If that is harsh, then they have only themselves to blame. The irony was perfect and intentional. The galaxy that had feared human aggression had created the very monster they sought to prevent. By attempting to enslave humanity, they had given humans both justification and motivation to become the conquerors the aliens had imagined them to be. Dr. Baek Min-jung was analyzing the psychological impact of the trials on the remaining free alien species. The broadcasts of the proceedings had been transmitted to every world in the galaxy. The effect has been exactly what we intended, she reported. Every species that voted against human enslavement is now actively seeking to please us. They are offering tribute, technology, and resources without being asked. And the neutral species? Terrified and cooperative. They understand that alliance with humanity is the only way to avoid the fate of the guilty species. Humanity had achieved something unprecedented in galactic history: total dominance without the need for constant warfare. The demonstration of human power had been so overwhelming that resistance was no longer considered possible. Captain Hong Su-min was leading the exploration missions that would expand human territory throughout the galaxy. Her ships were discovering new worlds, new resources, and new species that had never been contacted by the old Galactic Council. Each first contact follows the same pattern, she reported to command. We explain who we are and what happened to the species that opposed us. They immediately offer submission and cooperation. The galaxy was learning that humanity offered two choices: serve willingly and receive protection and limited freedom, or resist and face extinction. Most species chose wisely. President Yoon Jae-min addressed the first session of the Human Galactic Authority from DE. President Song Min-young stood at the observation deck of Unity Station, looking out at the stars that now belonged to humanity. 5 years had passed since the war ended, and the galaxy was completely transformed. The massive station hung in space where the old Galactic Council chambers had once stood. But unlike the alien structure it replaced, Unity Station was built by human hands using alien labor. Every rivet, every panel, every system was a reminder of who ruled the galaxy. Now, the statistics are remarkable, she told her advisors as they prepared for the first session of the Human Galactic Authority. In 5 years, we have gone from fighting for our freedom to controlling 90% of known space. Admiral Choi Jung-won commanded the enforcement fleets that maintained order throughout human territory. His ships patrolled the space lanes, ensuring that alien species remained obedient to their human masters. Morning report, he requested from his flagship bridge. All sectors report normal operations, his tactical officer replied. The Vorthons completed their mining quota ahead of schedule. The Zephyrian shipyards launched 12 new vessels for the human fleet. The collective research stations submitted their monthly technology reports. Choi Jung-won nodded with satisfaction. The alien species had learned their place in the new order. Those who worked hard and followed orders received adequate food and shelter. Those who caused problems received reminders of human power. Any incidents requiring attention? He asked. Minor. Work slowed down in Sector 7. The local hegemony population was questioning their work assignments. Response? Standard procedure. We dimmed their sun for 6 hours. Productivity returned to normal immediately. It was a simple but effective system. Alien species that showed proper deference to human authority were permitted limited freedoms. Those that didn't were reminded of their place with demonstrations of human power that grew more creative and terrifying with each iteration. Dr. Ryu Ha-young was conducting her xenological surveys of newly discovered species. Her teams explored the outer edges of the galaxy, cataloging life forms that had never been contacted by the old Galactic Council. We have identified 17 new intelligent species this year, she reported to the Human Authority. All have been successfully integrated into the human empire. Integration success rate? Asked one of the council members. 100%. Each first contact follows the same pattern. We demonstrate our technology, explain what happened to species that opposed us, and offer them a choice: serve willingly or face extinction. Dr. Ryu Ha-young pulled up holographic displays of the new species. Some looked like crystalline formations that could think. Others resembled living metals or energy beings. All of them had chosen to serve humanity rather than resist. The demonstration effect has been remarkably effective, she continued. Word of humanity's power has spread throughout the galaxy. New species often surrender before we even make formal contact. This was the genius of humanity's approach. By making examples of the species that had voted for human enslavement, they had created a galaxy where resistance was unthinkable. Every intelligent species understood that cooperation with humanity was the only path to survival. Captain Kim Soo-han led the exploration fleets that pushed the boundaries of human space ever outward. His ships used technology that combined human innovation with alien knowledge, creating vessels that were superior to anything the galaxy had ever seen. New sector reports, he announced to his crew as they entered another unexplored region. Long-range sensors detect 17 star systems with signs of intelligent life. Orders, sir? his navigator asked. "Standard first contact protocol. Approach the most advanced civilization, demonstrate our capabilities, and offer them membership in the human empire." The process had been refined over years of practice. Humanity no longer needed to wage war to expand their territory. The reputation of human power was sufficient to ensure immediate submission from any species they encountered. Engineer Nam Hye-jin was putting the finishing touches on humanity's greatest construction project, a Dyson sphere around the star that had once warmed the Dominion homeworld. The massive structure would capture the star's entire energy output for human use. "Construction progress is ahead of schedule," she reported to the Engineering Council. "Alien labor efficiency has improved significantly since the new motivation. Protocols were implemented. The Dominion workers who were building the sphere had once been proud rulers of their own empire. Now they worked 18-hour shifts assembling the structure that would power human civilization for millennia to come." "What about the Dominion population's adjustment to their new circumstances?" asked the council supervisor. "Complete adaptation," Nam Hye-jin replied. "The current generation of Dominion citizens has never known anything except service to humanity. They consider their work assignments to be natural and proper." This was perhaps humanity's greatest achievement. Not just the conquest of the galaxy, but the complete psychological transformation of the species they had defeated. Alien children grew up believing that serving humans was the natural order of the universe. Judge Moon Jae-sung was reviewing the final cases from the war crimes trials. The last few alien leaders had been sentenced, and the legal foundation for human rule was now complete. "All guilty parties have been processed," he reported to President Song Min-young. 93 species voted for human enslavement. 47 have been rendered extinct. 21 have been reduced to pre-space flight technology. 25 serve humanity in various capacities. And the species that voted against our enslavement? They have been granted protected status as allied civilizations. They maintain limited self-government under human oversight and provide voluntary service to the human empire. It was a carefully designed system. The aliens who had opposed human enslavement were rewarded with relative freedom, encouraging other species to cooperate with human rule. Those who had supported enslavement faced varying degrees of punishment, from extinction to slavery. The message was clear. Humanity remembered its friends and enemies and treated them accordingly. Commander Park Min-ho was overseeing the integration of alien technology into human systems. The combined knowledge of hundreds of species had accelerated human technological development by thousands of years. "Latest achievements," he announced to the Research Council. "We have successfully combined Vorthan energy manipulation with collective, computational systems, and Zephyrian materials science. The result is a new class of starship that operates in 11 dimensions simultaneously." "Military applications?" asked Admiral Choi Jung-won. "A single ship of this new class could destroy the entire original Galactic Council fleet in minutes. But more importantly, we can now build structures that exist partially outside normal space-time, making them effectively invulnerable to any conceivable attack." Humanity was not just ruling the galaxy through force. They were advancing so rapidly that the gap between human and alien capabilities grew larger every year. Soon, human technology would be so advanced that alien resistance would be not just futile, but literally impossible to conceive. Dr. Cho Jun-ki was analyzing the long-term stability of the new galactic order. His reports went directly to the highest levels of human government. "Social integration is proceeding better than our most optimistic projections," he told President Song Min-young. "Alien species are not just serving humanity. They are beginning to identify with human goals and values." "Explain," the president requested. "Second- and third-generation aliens who have grown up under human rule show psychological patterns similar to human citizens. They take pride in human achievements. They compete to serve human interests more effectively. Some are even beginning to think of themselves as junior members of human civilization rather than conquered aliens." This was the ultimate victory. Not just defeating alien species, but transforming them into willing participants in human expansion. In a few more generations, the distinction between human and alien might become meaningless as all intelligent. Life in the galaxy served the same human-directed purpose. Captain Lee So-young was leading the deep space missions that explored beyond the galaxy's edge. Her ships were making contact with civilizations in other galaxies, spreading humanity's influence to an even larger scale. First contact with Andromeda Galaxy civilizations has been successful, she reported. 3 major species have agreed to trade agreements. They are providing resources and technology in exchange for protection from hostile neighbors. Are they aware of our capabilities? Asked the Exploration Council. We provided a complete historical record of the Galactic War. They understand that cooperation with humanity is mutually beneficial, while opposition leads to extinction. Even civilizations that had never heard of the old Galactic Council were learning to respect human power. The reputation of what happened to species that opposed humanity was spreading beyond the galaxy itself. As President Song Min-young prepared for her address to the Human Galactic Authority, she reflected on the transformation that had occurred. The species that had voted to enslave humanity now served as construction workers, miners, and technicians throughout human space. Former alien leaders who had once commanded vast fleets now supervised work crews under human oversight. Alien scientists, who had on